Hello, thank you for joining RasPipKr tutorials. I'm Martin Parker, and in this video I'm doing a little video to do with possibly a subscriber. I don't know. I might have been a subscriber, but he did ask a question 11 days ago. I replied, and 9 days ago he told me what sort of issue he was having. So I don't know tkinter that well, but basically wants to have his temperature in a widget of some sort. So I'm just going to do a quick video on how to do that. I'm using these two functions here from my house, kind of like a home assistant that I coded. It's in my GitHub if you want to have a look at it, play around with it, or get this. But either way, I'm going to upload this code for you, Mart Y, so you can test it out with your temperature sensor and see if it's working, or at least that way you can play around with it. So basically I've got this bit ready, so I'm going to be using tkinter, but I'll set it as TK so that I know what I'm using. It's just a thing that I'll do. This is where your temperature sensor will end up in this directory, but then it'll be a 28 something or other, and I'll explain that in a second. So there's two functions here that gets the actual information that I'll show you that you can get on your command line. So if you go to basically this directory, so if I copy that and if I cd into there, paste, go there, and if I do ls, it gives me my wire 1 bus master. Don't really need to worry about that. Each of the temperature sensors, these little DS18B20s, will have its own identifier, like a kind of like a MAC address, if you like. But you know, it's a unique number, so you can have, it'll be a different one for if you had two connected on at the same time, which is what I do on my home heating system, because I got one downstairs and one upstairs to monitor. So anyhow, if this is, it's not the right colour for a folder, because that's the colour for a folder, but technically it is a folder kind of link, I think it's called, symlink. So if we cd, and if you type 28, you can type it all in, or if you press tab, it'll give you everything. And see, we're now in that directory that we're expecting. If I do ls, it gives you all the information in here that I've never touched. I'm not gonna lie, but you'll notice W1 for your wire 1 slave, which is the sensor. So if I cat out what it's seeing, so if I do W1, press tab, it'll fill it in, and it'll give you all this information. I don't particularly know what these bits are, probably some sort of data reference of some sort, but basically this other function here is looking to see in this first line that it says yes. That means it's seeing the sensor, and then it's checking to find a T equals, which is this, and then it's that value there is in Celsius, so it would be 20.875, and then it does a conversion to Fahrenheit in this bit in here, and basically it returns temp C and temp F, and I've just put them as C and F for now, and that is the device folder variable, but you need to add on the plus /w1_slave. I could have put that onto there, to be fair, but it doesn't matter. Right, so let's run this, and you will see that we get the temperature. So I've got it set to, move that over. So I've got the gives you the information .1 floating number, so that's like formatting how it displays, and it's changing it to that. If I change that to a 2, then obviously we'd get 2 floating numbers after it. But yeah, you don't really need to do it. As you can see, 20.9, 20.88. I don't know if it rounds it up. I just think it just does it to the first digit floating number. Anyhow, right. So you want this into a tkinter widget. So let's just comment all that out and stop that because it's still running. Yes. Don't need that anymore, so let's get rid of that. Let's just put a bit of space so get it up on the screen. Right, so up here we are using tkinter. So we need to set a variable for tkinter. Some people use app, root, whatever, window or win, but I'm used to putting root equals tk because I've got it referenced as tk here. So just put my cursor back, tk.tk, and that has now created a little app, basically window, but it's not going to show anything yet. So let's give it a title. So we'll do root.title, and we'll just call this temperature. Whoops, press the wrong button there. So that's that. We'll set the size because it's going to be tiny. In fact, let's root.main loop. Let's run that, and you'll see we get our window, and the window stays on screen because we've got that root.main loop. I'll just stop that and just move that. Now we want to set our temperature to go in there as a widget, as a label you mentioned about. So we'll do label, that's the variable that we're going to call it. It can be anything really. So we're going to use the tk.L label. Helps if you do the right button. And then it's saying where do you want it. These are the sort of settings. So we want it in our root window. So if I set the text as hello world, pop that there, and then label.pack, and it will just chuck it in and put it to the screen. But now it's really tiny. So if we set this to be root.geometry, and it's a variable, string, so we'll call it 100 die 100, and that will now make it so it's a box of 100 pixels by 100 pixels down, but you don't get the temperature bit. So let's sort that out, make that 200 wide. Well, that should be better. There we go. So there we go. Let's put the information from our sensor in now. So what we want to do is we want to create, rather than it being text, we need to get rid of this. So rather than text, we want it to be text variable, because it's going to keep changing. I'm going to set that equal to, we'll just call it T underscore string, because it's going to be a text, a string variable. So we need to set that variable now. So we'll call this T underscore string is equal to a tk function called string var variable. So that's now set, but we haven't got anything set in it. So what we'll do here is we shall create our own little function, define this as get underscore temp. Okay, so it's just a function that we're going to keep calling basically. And I'm going to show you a little trick. Sometimes if you start using tkinter more, you don't want to do, I'll show you basically. So we shall call this, we'll do it as that, copy that, and we shall pop that in here, paste. So we've got that, and this bit here, we shall get that. Copy that, pop that in here. But what we want to do is, whoops, too far. So we've created that T underscore string for the string variable, so we need to set that. So T underscore string dot set, and then parentheses, and at the end I'm working with a different keyboard and the buttons are all over. So that will set that function. So that should do that. If I run that, nothing showed. Why did that happen? Because we didn't call the function to start it running. So we need to get temp, and now it should show the temperature. There we go, 21.00. Let's get rid of the second decimal. Where are we? There. So that's now to put it to one decimal place. But this isn't going to keep doing it. If you set a time, so let's say, because we've got the time in use in here, so if I do a time dot sleep, 1 second, something like that. In fact, let's put this into a while true loop, so that will never going to start the window because that is in front of it. So created the window, but when you're using the time it causes issues. So let's get rid of that bit there, tidy this up, move that back across, and after that time the way you want to do it is basically you want the root dot after, and then this is in milliseconds, so to do it once every second is 1000 milliseconds, and then what you want to call after each second basically. So you want to recall the get temp function, and that will basically start the and keep updating it. Or it would do. If I'd have done it right. Oh, that should be above. In this way. And there we go. On the screen, please. Oh, never. Oh, I know why. I know why. Because when I'm doing it in my thing, I'm doing it as a thread. Right. Let's import threading. Threading is something that will run sorry, I like to keep them in a line. Threading will split your program, so basically it will get this function running in a kind of like in the background, as well as keeping the window open. So we'll just call this thread is equal to threading dot thread, and target, I believe target is equals to that, but you do not want to call it with the parentheses brackets, otherwise it will automatically just do it. So if we now say thread dot start, and then that will tell that to just start running that function, and it will run in the background, and then it will run this function, and it will give us the temperature like so, and every second that will update. Okay, so if I hold on to it, you'll start seeing every second it will jump up. And if I let go, it'll start to go down. If I stop this, it's probably going to moan because I've killed the thread. There's ways that you can sort that out so it will stop it. But I'm going to change this so it will update every 10 milliseconds. So it'll keep updating a lot quicker. But I I've got a set time here, so it's not going to do it any quicker than that sort of time. I don't know if that would make it any super fast. Let's try it. Slightly quicker, but I don't see the benefit in it. So let's unblock that. So there you go. That's how you can use it. Let's run it again. So by changing that value on that bit there, that's 1 second, that would be 10 seconds. So it's not. Okay. Oh, that's not really a second, is it? That's 1.1 second, or thereabouts. I need another 2 zeros in there to make it 10 seconds. Silly me, silly me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's not making any difference. Okie doke. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should normally do it. But none of that is milliseconds. So I don't know why that's doing that. So there we go. Cool. So that's a little program that will give you temperature reading. Cool. And I'm going to stick that into my GitHub. And I'm going to put it in. I've no idea why this has gone like this. Go back. DS18B20, I believe. Is that right? DS18B20. DS18B20. Yeah, that'll do. Public, because I'm a nice person, and I'm not bothered about licensing it because I'm not a mean person. Create that. And yeah, whatever. I don't need to know all that. I just want to put my file in. It seems to have changed like this. Import code. It's been a while since I've used GitHub. What's going on? I don't want to import all the files. I just want to put the files in, dude. Used to be a button that you just put the files in. Seriously. Way, there we go. Choose your files. Why has it changed so much? So there's the video that I'm doing now. I presume it's in the home and it's called Mat Video. Yep. Commit change. Yeah, whatever, I don't need to do it. Processing your file. It's really not that long. There's the code. And I am going to copy path. Go back to the video. Reply. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay in making this video. But here is code. Control V. Oh great, I didn't want that, I wanted the full path. Use click it. Copy link address. I have no idea if this will show or not. It seems to. Okay. Put that there. Enter and reply. Ta-da. So that should take him straight to it. Super duper. I'm not American. My pie is rather busy.